Good morning and welcome to another very exciting rail adventure from a freezing January morning here at Stamford railway station. Today I'll be undertaking a massive challenge. I'll be visiting 3 random locations selected by my Great British Railway Station's card game. And the aim is essentially to visit each of these destinations, spend at least 30 minutes at each of them before returning back to Stamford in time before the last train departs. It's going to be a tough challenge starting here at 5:50 in the morning, but it should be really exciting. So let's kick things off, head down there under the canopy and select our mystery destinations. Right, I've got my pack of cards here. They've just been shuffled before I put them in my bag. So it's time to just pick 3 random cards out. And this is of course where I'll be heading today. Starting off with a tough one, we've got Edinburgh, Waverley. Now this could go either way. If I have lots up north, then this is doable. I've got Baton Bull and Leeds, so I think Baton Bull is down south near London. Leeds is obviously up north, so is Edinburgh. So I'm going to check train times and I will see you in a minute. I've just had a quick look at the train times and I think the challenge is doable. So we're going to be heading in the Peterborough direction. Anyway, that's the 6:05 departure, and unusually that's actually an East Midlands Railway departure. Although East Midlands Railway operates Stamford railway station, they only have 3 services a day. 2 in the early morning going to Norwich, and then 1 in the evening going back to Nottingham. So that will be interesting to hop on board that, and then we can do more planning at Peterborough railway station as to the layout of the day. So bang on time, our first train of the day pulled into Stamford in the form of an almost empty 2-carriage Class 158, meaning I could quickly hop on board and warm up for the short 15-minute journey to Peterborough.
This is Stamford. Our next station is Peterborough.
With arrival into Peterborough and the challenge now truly underway, let's have a quick look at the scoring system for today's points-based challenge. Of course, the main aim of today is to visit each of the 3 mystery destinations worth 10 points each that we chose earlier in Stamford. However, there are also a series of bonus challenges giving me the opportunity to gain extra points in a variety of categories, including the 3 bonus challenges when I reach a destination for finding a local landmark, a local delicacy and a unique station feature, 2 onboard challenges for sampling the onboard dining experience and reviewing the train's comfort, and finally the all-important penalties, meaning that I have to return to Stamford in time for the last train, spend at least 30 minutes at each destination, and attempt to visit all 3 places whilst doing this. First train of the day is now booked, and that will be the 06:48 LNER service up to Leeds, which is of course our first destination. It's absolutely freezing on the station, so I've got myself a nice warm tea to keep my hands warm before the train arrives in about 5 minutes time. Surely enough, my LNER service was soon pulling into platform 2 with a ticket for the 1.5 hour journey up to Leeds, costing me just £17.30 with a rail card on board this extremely quiet early morning service. Having taken my seat in the very empty carriage, let's kick off today's points with a seat review. I found the seat itself to be fairly firm, but with plenty of legroom to stretch your legs, as well as having a fold-down armrest, a plug socket at each seat, and a sturdy tray table. Overall, certainly not the most comfortable, but fine for today's trip. and that is my first destination of Leeds ticked off. So I've just collected my ticket up to Edinburgh, which is the second destination, and I'm going to head in to find a landmark and some local food. Behind me now is the Leeds Corn Exchange, and this is going to be my local landmark for my first destination. And it's a Grade 1 listed building that was opened in 1864 and is now a shopping arcade. Unfortunately, it isn't open right now, it opens a bit later on, but I mean it's still an impressive building on the outside and is definitely a landmark of the city. So I'm going to try and find some local food in the Kirkgate markets, which are just in front of me, and I will see you back at the station in a bit. So with my hunt for food unsuccessful, I headed back to Leeds station, passing the famous statue of Edward the Black Prince and into the stunning Art Deco Northern Concourse behind the Queen's Hotel. Opened in 1931 by the LMS, this beautiful building is certainly one of Leeds' unique station features. I'm back at Leeds station now. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to complete the food challenge here due to the fact that everything was closed. It wasn't open until 10, the bakery, so I couldn't obviously get anything. But my train's in 10 minutes anyway, third train of the day, cross-country Voyager up to Edinburgh. Unfortunately, it is a Voyager, but on the positive side, it's got 8 carriages, so it should have lots of spare seats for me to get a window seat on the journey up to Edinburgh. And yeah, I'm just going to wait for that to arrive here on platform 9. And bang on time, the 2 4-car Voyagers slowly pulled into Leeds, having started from Birmingham New Street earlier this morning. For this 3-hour journey, I paid just £27, a surprisingly excellent bargain considering this was booked just a couple of hours in advance. Jumping on board, I was pleasantly surprised to find the carriage nearly empty, so I took my place in an unreserved seat with a good window view for the journey up the East Coast Main Line. Departing Leeds on time, let's have another quick seat review of these notorious cross-country Voyagers. I actually found the seats themselves to be really comfortable for the 3-hour journey up to Scotland, featuring the usual fold-down armrest and tray table, as well as plug sockets and reading lights. Certainly better than LNER's Azumas, despite their urgent need for refurbishment. I've made it onto the 3rd train of the day, and it's really quiet actually. I think it's because it's 8 carriages rather than the usual 4, so that worked out really well actually. And I only paid £27 for the trip up to Edinburgh, so it isn't actually that bad, and the seat is comfortable enough, so I'm just going to sit back and hopefully enjoy some nice views up the East Coast Main Line from York onwards. And with a cup of tea and a snack purchased from the onboard trolley, I happily sat back into my seat and watched the beautiful scenery pass by as the morning sun began to rise. About 20 minutes after leaving Leeds, we soon depart our first stop of York, commencing the run up the East Coast Main Line to Edinburgh. As we leave behind the home of the National Railway Museum, we traverse what is unofficially known as the racetrack, a 30-mile stretch of line between York and Northallerton, which is the longest straight section of railway in Britain, allowing our Voyager to stretch its legs and reach its top speed of 125 miles per hour. Soon we're crossing the famous King Edward VII Bridge on the approach to Newcastle Station, with other bridges visible including the Blue Metro Bridge, the High Level Bridge and of course the Tyne Bridge. So with a short 10-minute crew change at Newcastle, it was time for me to head back to my seat and enjoy some beautiful scenery as we race onwards to Edinburgh. After that very scenic railway journey along the Northumberland coast, we arrived into Edinburgh bang on time under the shadow of the imposing Calton Hill. And we have arrived at Edinburgh Waverley, destination number 2, after that surprisingly good journey with cross country. Really quiet train. However, I'm not going to be looking around the station right now. I'm going to be heading to the local landmark before returning to the station to pick up my tickets, and we can pick up the rest of the challenges. Of course, I couldn't come to Edinburgh without going to the castle, which is the landmark for this destination. There's been occupants on the castle hill since the Iron Age, and the castle has been standing as a royal residence since the 11th century, and it's undoubtedly one of Edinburgh's most famous attractions. Unfortunately, not enough time to go in there today. My next train is at 1 o'clock in about 40 minutes, so I'm going to head back through Edinburgh, try and get some Scottish food of some sort, and then back to the station for the unique feature and to pick up our tickets. Running to today's very tight schedule, I quickly made my way back down the steep streets of Edinburgh to Waverley Station, where I could tick off its unique station feature in the form of its incredible Victorian booking hall, a must-see when travelling through the station. Back at Waverley Station now. Yet again, unfortunately, I wasn't able to get the food. I don't know why, it was just, I couldn't find anywhere to buy any like shortbread or something like that. And I haven't got a reserved seat on this train. I'm travelling in first class, by the way, upgraded on Seat Frog. But I don't have a reserved seat, so I wanted to get down to the platform earlier so I can get a window seat for the filming of the way down. Here's the end of the train and the first class section. There are some free seats in there, so I'm going to hop on board, and that's Edinburgh done. 2 out of 3 challenges complete. As just mentioned, I'd be travelling in LNER first class using a Seat Frog upgrade all the way down to the capital, so I quickly boarded the 9-coach Azuma and found an unreserved solo seat for my journey. With departure just a couple of minutes late, let's have a look around this first class seat. LNER's first class product features a fairly good amount of padding, with a large fold down armrest and an excellent amount of recline also present to add to the overall comfort. A definite improvement on standard class, which we travelled in earlier. And doing this challenge at the beginning of January, LNER was still offering their Christmas menu, featuring a wide range of festive meals and snacks, as well as the usual variety of drinks. Food orders were soon taken as we sped towards the coast, and my sausage roll was delivered piping hot, an absolutely delicious lunch which was thoroughly enjoyed alongside the beautiful views of the sea.
No worries. It was just because I'd been taking it to the wrong place. No worries.
For the second time today, we crossed the River Tyne on the King Edward VII's Bridge, this time as we curve out from under Newcastle's grand station canopy, with just 20 minutes until we pass Durham's medieval cathedral. Just left York on our journey from Edinburgh to London, meaning it's about halfway through the 4-hour and 40-minute journey. Sorry for the lack of filming, but we did see it earlier on our way up to Edinburgh, so I thought I would just relax for this bit, not film too much, as we have seen a lot of it before. I'm going to head back to my seat, just relax for the last 2 hours, and I will see you when we get off at King's Cross. Over 4.5 hours later, I've reached King's Cross, so it's time to head down to the Underground. That's included in my through ticket from Edinburgh to Baton Bull, and Northern Line will be to London Bridge, where we can pick up the Thameslink service, or Southeastern, I'm not sure yet, down to Sevenoaks, where we'll change onto the final train to our third destination, Baton Bull.
This train has 10 coaches.
Just like that, I've made it to London Bridge with 5 minutes to spare. I've picked up my tickets for the journey home, and I'm just waiting for a Southeastern service which will take me to Sevenoaks.
5 coaches.
Next train to arrive on platform 6.
After that very busy journey on a Southeastern service, I had just 10 minutes at Sevenoaks to change onto the waiting Thameslink train to take me one stop to today's final destination, Baton Bull. The time is now 7 o'clock in the evening, 13 hours after I left Stamford, and I've made it to Bat and Bull. I didn't think I was going to make it today, going all the way up to Edinburgh and Leeds, but we're here. We've got 30 minutes to explore the surprisingly nice station. It's got a really nice old station building that's lit up with the lights over there. So I'm going to cross over. I can't believe we've made it. I just changed trains at Sevenoaks back then onto the Thameslink, a very short journey because Baton Bull is a suburb of Sevenoaks. But yeah, let's have an explore and then catch the train back home. Now that we're here, I don't think we're going to be able to tick off any local food or landmarks at this time of night. And in fact, there's probably nothing here other than houses, as it is a suburb of Sevenoaks. However, the station itself does have lots of unique features, including all of the old signage which you will have seen. So that's good. We've ticked off 1 out of 3 challenges, and ultimately we're here. So that's the main bonus. as you can see, I'm now at London King's Cross. My train from Sevenoaks was delayed by about 8 minutes, so I had a very tight connection at London Bridge, but we made it in time for the 8:30 departure from King's Cross via the Thames link from London Bridge to St Pancras International. I just made it, so this train behind me that I'm on leaves in about 10 minutes. I've got my ticket here. It cost me £8 to upgrade to first class, so why not? It's comfortable and it's an Intercity 225 set. So no more hanging about, let's jump on board. As just mentioned, I'd be travelling on one of LNER's Mark IV sets, and with just 10 minutes before departure time, I quickly jumped on board one of the 3 first class carriages at the rear of the train. Of course, the seat was absolutely amazing, with excellent leather padding, a good amount of recline controlled by the button on the side, and a smart LNER headrest. Definitely one of the best first class interiors on a UK train. Almost immediately after departure, the friendly host served a delicious evening meal, the perfect way to finish a long day of travel, especially for just £8 upgrade. And just like that, I'm back at Peterborough railway station, and I'll tell you what, it hasn't got any warmer since early this morning. But what an amazing way to conclude that part of the journey anyway, with an LNER Class 91 in first class. As always, the service is absolutely brilliant, so it was worth every penny of the £8 upgrade. Now, the final leg, just back to Stamford, on cross country on my local train. So I will catch you at Stamford. And that's it, over 16 hours later and 850 miles by train. We have completed that random stations challenge. I can't believe that I went all the way up to Edinburgh and down to London again in one day. It's pretty impressive how far you can get on the UK rail network in one day. But that concludes today's vlog, so thank you for watching. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe, and I will hopefully see you next time for a slightly less challenging video.